Hey, I'm Kev, welcome back to MotoGP 18. Has Mario had a superb debut on board the KTM, but can he go one step high on the podium around the TT Circuit Assen in the Netherlands? So here goes to Mario for the first of three possible qualifying laps. Has he got the best Magnaia's 37.3 and he eases it very much into the first corner. And he's got right up for a rider just cruising on the apex, just like we want to see on a qualifying lap. This is a very tight and technical first sector, just like the whole of this circuit now, apart from that last sector where it really does open up for the final chicane. This is definitely one of the favourites on the circuit. The oldest canned on the circuit as well. It's changed a lot over the years. His last major change happening just over a decade ago now into this configuration. But it's still a superb circuit to see some racing round. Just as we saw this year as well with the races, superb. We'll see what Mario can do on a circuit which has not brought him the best of luck in the past, but it's definitely brought some fantastic racing. Sure, we can see that again on board his KTM. Well, he had a great race the last time out in Barcelona, backing up team leader Oliveira. Be looking to do more of the same and get the upper hand on Binder as well. About to be number 2. One of the Portuguese riders. He's a second behind Magnaia at the moment, but we know that time's going to fall drastically. 37.3 is not the real benchmark. It's going to be 36s, maybe high 35s. As Mario does a 38.9 to warm up with. And that's why he's losing lots of time in Spain last time out. Knocking the rears like that under braking. But it's definitely a better start, and it's like to this lap. It's so tricky to get this circuit right, all of the corners. Especially when they flow into it. Actually, you've got so many sections like that. If you get the first part wrong, you're catching up on the other corners to make it right. You're losing time from that first part through all of those corners. Well, Mario just 2/10 down. First sector, that's better. He's going to the middle sector, a bit cautious. Well, apparently just a 10th down. Hit to the power really hard. You could go over all that curb on the left hand side. Lots of it. That's one of the things that's a bit disappointing about modern circuits as well, which I didn't really realise, is that just how much curbing all these circuits have. Used to be just in between the white lines, please. That's the track limits. Now, so much curbing about with tarmac runoff. What is track limits anymore? It's not really anything, is it? And that is going to be a difficulty. Sanctioning bodies and rule makers to find in the next few years, as well as Binder goes fast through a 36.5, Boulder of 37.5. Second behind his teammate. Let's see if we can find a second on this final lap. Of course, there's always ways to improve. He's definitely a bit cautious in the first sector. Can definitely back that up. So he's trying to get on the power there. That might have cost him a couple of tenths, but he's 3/10 down over there. Yeah, now there it is, a high 35, 35.9 for everyone to chase. Model through the left a bit wide, chasing the front end of the bike through the whole of the corner. So he's 4/10 down on his teammate. He wants at least a mid 36. That will virtually guarantee a top 10 on the grid. Well, I'm not sure he has it in him, McDonald. Especially when you make mistakes like that on your final qualifying effort. Just turned in slightly early into that corner. And again, chasing time in that second up right-hander. It might be worse than the previous lap. It is 1.1 down. So it's not worse, but it's not good either. Gonna be around a 37 flat, it looks like. Let's go out the final chicane and towards the line. It is a 37.3. Poor. As his teammates line up 1 and 2 with Baldessari in third. Then Quartararo on the speed up. Leads the second row. What superb qualifying from the Frenchman with Bagnaia and Mir. Finishing that row. Then we got Shirotta alongside teammate Vergate and Pasini. Rounding out the top 10 is Marini, the teammate of Bagnaia. Great qualifying from the Italian ahead of Navarro and Agata. Then Ika with McDonald in 14th, middle of the 5th row alongside Alex Marquez. Shocking qualifying for the Mark VDS rider. Then it's Locate, Nakashima and Gardner. Finati. Bobert rounds out the top 20 ahead of Danny Ken. You've got Corsi, Roberts, Paoli, Isaac Vinales ahead of Granado and Ben Snyder. Nicara Rudin. Then Fellini. And you got Danilo rounding out the top 30 of the Manzi. Sam Lowe's on the back row alongside Odundol. So it's what we're revving up then at the start, waiting for the lights. 2, go, out. To get underway in Assen. It's made a decent start. Only dropped 1 position, got a good run on Agata. And down the inside of Alex Marquez as well as the back off. So he's up to 13th as here comes Agata back. Not having none of it though. We're having none of it back. He gets out on the power out the hairpin. He's still in 15th. Oh, that could have been a fantastic start down the inside of Marquez, but instead Agata put pace to that. Well, he's got a superb run on Locatelli. Takes an unusual line to get past the Italian. And now he's behind Agata. Not quite close enough to make a move on the Swiss veteran. Well, he tries it in the right-hander. Agata having none of it. As Olivier's battling for Mir right at the front. You can see that in that little group in front. So gets his superb run and Agata down the inside the right-hander. As well, a rider down in front. Lord runs wide, it's Agata back by, so he's made a position up. Then for the final chicane, a couple of riders down in front. Navarro Marini. Swador's now battling for a top 10 position with Agata. Finally makes the move in the first corner of the second lap. Great battle. She's one of the newcomers to Moto2 and one of them who's seen it all before in this class. He's got Alex Marquez battling with Shirotta in front. No one takes a very tight line there. Agata trying to make his way by McDonald saying no, this is my top 10. Ravika with the popcorn behind. Donald finally wins out. Or does he? He's run wide. Agata again looking get back by. And this time McDonald's got the run on the exit. As he finally put pay to the yellow rocket. Was the submarine going to come back and torpedo past or just torpedo McDonald? Looks like it's Agata's new strategy. Just holds him off into the fast section at the end of the lap. And so McDonald's finally cut loose. It's now Ika's behind in 11th. Agata really losing out. Small very aggressive in the final chicane. Maybe overly so as Olivia leads. And a Baldessari Mir. Cassini rounds out the top 5. Behind Bagnaia as McDonald breaks for no man's land. He's pushing hard to catch up to this lead group of 9. But once again he's being hounded from behind. And that's to hold the inside line to hold off Ika. which is just costing him time. He's around 2 seconds back of Alex Marquez. Got to see McDonald's got the pace on this KTM to close that gap. Especially as they're battling in front. He's in clean air. Or should be in clean air. Is Brad Binder now into the top 5 ahead of Pacino, is he? Italian very tough to pass. Bit like Agata. No go time in these middle laps. Definitely is pushing hard. Looks like he's closed the gap a bit. He has half a second. They're going to the final chicane. They're going wide in front. It's out the final chicane. We're done with a 37 flat. He's 1.6 back. He's got a gap behind. There's old Quartararo's gone down. Oh, the Frenchman's dream is over for this race. After such a good result in Catalan, after such a superb qualifying result as well. Here in Assen, it's just not worked out for the Frenchman. So we've got those down in 17th, but that's from the back of the grid, so he's almost in the points. The halfway mark for this race, it's not too bad. So we're trying to use the engine brake, honestly. It's just pushing, though. At such high speeds. Not like he was reacting on a Moto 3 bike. He's still having to adjust his style to Moto 2. It's McDonald. Just has to be a bit smoother than he was on a Moto 3 bike. It's just not quite coming together yet. Again, he's still working on the setup as well. Get the bike suited to him. Just not coming together quite yet at this level for McDonald, despite that superb result last time out. The gap's just similar to the riders in front. He's not gaining. But he's not really losing either. He's very aggressive in the final chicane. Does a 36.8. As we go into the second half of the race, apparently he has gained half a second. The riders in front definitely are getting closer. Quickly on the power. Into the tight hairpin as they really are battling over 6th. Or should that be 7th? Got 3 riders battling like a hell over it. He's got a second gap behind to Ika. 1.2 behind the top 9. Sure, it's going to be this lap for McDonald. Or is he just pushing too hard? The tyres on in too bad a state. So Alex Marquez finally passed Vergate. It's Luca Marini down in 27th. Normally he's battling for points. Would have thought it after his top 10 qualifying, but again, like Quartararo, the race has turned into a nightmare for the Italian. And one of those caught up in that early incident as well with Navarro. So McDonald around a second back now. Definitely strong in sectors 1 and 3. Doesn't get the launch off the final chicane though. This is a 36.9. He's consistent at least. He's consistently closing the gap. Could be building up for a fantastic final lap battle here. McDonald can keep this up. It's the first time the tyre's getting a bit wayward. Where are you going, McDonald? You're meant to go on the track. This isn't dirt tracking. Just slightly offline can cost you so much time. That's a decent exit as Navarro ahead of home hero Ben Snyder. He's found a second back. He's now closer to the top 9 than he is to the riders behind for the first time this race. Let's go for the right hand. They're just a bit too cautious there on the brakes. And a bit more aggressive, McDonald. And a bit wide there. Do the second right. Get on the power hard. He really is close and he can almost reach out and touch that battle now. It's once again wide for the right hander. That's sloppy though. Yes, he definitely is now half a second back. As he approaches the penultimate lap of the race. We've finally got a line of 10 at the front. As Olivia still leads ahead of Baldassari, Mir, Bagnaia and Binder. There's Navarro in 19th. Disappointing to see Marquez down there. He's just not been able to make any progress since the opening lap. We expected more from the main title challenger to Oliveira. We might have no challenge at Arvo mode this season, Oliveira, with how it's gone. These last couple of races. Expecting Marquez to push on after Meneghello, but instead it's the other way. Oliveira has fought back, Marquez has dropped back. Zico 1.5 seconds back. Dawn within dive bomb territory. Marquez, watch out with a lap and a half to go. Not close enough into the left. There's a little nook in the first right. Lets the front end get away though, does McDonald. Well, he gets a good exit. Now can he nail this right-hander? Oh, there we go. Now he's getting slipstream through these fast flowing corners at the end of the lap. So fast, he's diving down the inside. Oh, Marquez takes it back. As they go on to the final lap of this race. Go with a 36.7. He's producing fastest laps on the penultimate lap of the race. He's producing dives on Alex Marquez as well. To get up into 9th, and he's not fought back the Spaniard. That's very surprising. Now he's behind Shirota. How many more places can he pick off on this final lap? As the tyres are around halfway worn on both front and rear. It's actually Verge in front, Ika in 10th, 2 seconds back. What's happened to Alex Marquez? Very wide on the left. Oh, has that upset his run now for 8th? It might have with half a lap to go. To go into the left-hander. Once again, McDonald being the good teammate as well. Getting Marquez out of the top 10. Looks like for the time being. As he exit this right-hander, this will be the turn corner. He's just not close enough, is he? Well, it's been consistent pace for McDonald. Very consistent in both of the races on board the KTM. And superb to see him doing fastest laps as well on the penultimate lap of a long race here. As Oliveira wins ahead of Baldassari, Mir, Bagnaia, Binder. And McDonald in 9th. He may be shaking his head, but that's a decent result and very encouraging pace once again. In the race, just needs to up that qualifying form. And look at McDonald, 6.3 back of his teammate Oliveira who won. Just 4 seconds off a podium, and his fastest lap on that penultimate lap, remember, matched fastest lap of the riders in front who got the top 5, who battled for the podium as well, where Baldassari and Mir got ahead of Bagnaia, Binder, Bassini, then the Dynavolt boys of Schrotter and Verge, with Ika round out the top 10 ahead of Alex Marquez. He dropped back on that final couple of laps to McDonald, but also to his fellow Spaniard. Another top 10 from the teenager, though. Fantastic to see. With Agata ahead of Locatelli, Barbara, and those after that terrible qualifying being on the back row of the grid. They grab a point, decent result for the Brit, as you've got Remy Gardner just missing out by a second. And he was around a second ahead of Fernati, Vinales, Navarro after that first lap kerfuffle. Manzi ran at the top chain ahead of his fellow Italian Marini. Don't often want to see those two together. A bit of a tongue twister for the commentators. Courtois down in 28th. Joining his teammate Danny Kent right near the back, which Pauli occupies. So in the Riders' Championship, 60-point lead for Miguel Oliveira, head of Alex Marquez. It might already be championship over, but it's still a long way to go. With Baldassari in third, Schrotter in fourth, Binder rounds out the top 5 head of Verge, Bassini, Mir, Bagnaia, McDonald in 10th, 24 points ahead of Ika now, who's up to 11th, and just 10 points behind Bagnaia, as Lowe's and Courtois drop down the order. Barbera and Agata, the veterans, move up the order ahead of young guns Marini and Gardner, and Corsi as well, their fellow veteran. Locatelli up to 21st after a decent result, ahead of Ordendal, Roberts and Vinales, the last of the point scorers, with Jules Danilo getting the wooden spoon at the moment. So for McDonald, didn't achieve the qualifying or race objective set out by the team. Riding position for manager up to 77, race manager 78, lean angle at 79. Reputation's taken a bit of a hit, unfortunately, and not many development points as well for the team. So lots of work to do for Mayo, not for Marquez, so as Mark wins in MotoGP ahead of Dovi and Rossi, while in Moto3 it's Martin ahead of Bezzecchi and Bashni, and in Red Bull's Rookie Cup it's the same podium again. As we approach the halfway mark of a very up and down season for Mayo, he's in the top 10, but he did not push on in the Netherlands like we thought he would or should have. Well, at least the team thought he should have. Let's see if that happens around the Sachsenring in Germany. Anti-clockwise, unusual, undulating, tight and twisty, fast and flowing circuit. Let's see what happens for Mayo next time. Sound fortune, we'll find out then.